Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside our Home Field Credit Union Studio B for this week's edition of the Milford Informer. I am your host, Tim Coet. What an exciting time it is for sports fans in the area. The Red Sox open up the ALCS against the Astros this weekend, and the Pats square off with the Kansas City Chiefs in a possible AFC Championship preview. It should be an exciting weekend, and we're happy to get it started for you here on the Informer. Let's show you what we have coming up tonight in our top stories rundown.
Tonight, we sit down with Milford Special Olympics Director Jen Walsh to discuss Milford High School's recognition as a National Banner Unified Champion School. Also tonight, Dr. Kevin McIntyre stops by for his October Superintendent update, which includes information on Milford's MCAS results. And later in sports, we'll have an update on the boys' soccer team, and we will also have full highlights from the football team's homecoming game versus Sharon and a pair of volleyball matches from the past week.
Milford High School recently received a prestigious honor related to their work with Special Olympics. The high school has been declared an official Special Olympics National Banner Unified Champion School, a distinction shared by just 130 other schools nationwide. To find out more about this honor, as well as other details on Milford's commitment to inclusion through Special Olympics, I sat down with the director of Milford Special Olympics, Jen Walsh.
And we're very happy to be joined on the Milford Informer this week by a guest that really needs no introduction. All over town, doing everything all the time. Jen Walsh here with us from the Milford Special Olympics. Jen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So a real tremendous honor for Special Olympics at Milford High School. We want to get to that in just a little bit, but starting off, Jen, how long have you been working with Special Olympics here in Milford now?
So in Milford, 25 years.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And what's sort of that experience been like from the beginning to now for you?
I mean, every day is amazing, and I really enjoy it. And to watch the programs grow and to meet the needs of our athletes, and it's just every day is fun for me. I love it.
It's amazing.
I love it.
The work that you do is amazing, and it's been terrific just to see everything continuing to grow over the years, and obviously that's a big part of what we had you in to talk about today. Just recently, it was announced that Milford High School has received national recognition for Special Olympics. Tell the folks a little bit specifically about that honor.
So we received national recognition for our Unified Sports program, and Unified Sports is the teams that have students with and without disabilities competing together. And they had started leagues at the high school with the MIAA about 6 years ago, and we started with track, and then they went from track to bocce, and then from bocce to basketball. So the Unified Sports are growing too. But then along with it, the recognition came because we're such an inclusive school, because we have the Unified Sports, we have the Best Buddies, we do the Spread the Word to End the Word campaigns, and we also have a leadership group at the high school that's like a liaison between Special Olympics and the students.
And that's great. So this national recognition, this is not something that gets thrown around to a lot of schools. There's a lot of criteria there involved, and you talked about it. It goes beyond the Special Olympics program. It's the Unified Sports. It's the inclusion. It's all of those things that Milford has done so well to continue to grow over the years. But just looking at some of the numbers, you're one of only 10 schools in the entire state of Massachusetts to receive this distinction, and you're one of just 131 schools across the country. So it's no small feat that the school has been awarded this.
Yeah, it's a really nice recognition, and it's all thanks to the students in the Milford Public Schools, because without them we couldn't do things like that. So.
And obviously you talked about it, 3 unified sports now throughout several different seasons in Milford. You've got a little bit of unified wrestling that happens
right, so
as
we have
well.
Community programs also that are unified. We have flag football, we have wrestling, we have a couple other sports, bowling that's unified.
And talk to people a little bit more about unified sports specifically and what that entails.
Well, it's about inclusion, and it's about our kids having equal opportunities. So the Unified Sports at the high school is about our kids having the same exact opportunity as everybody else. They go on the bus with the team. I mean, some of them just to ride the bus with the team to their events is like a huge feat. Going and competing against the other schools, leaving school a little early for a game, they get all pumped up for that. Yeah. So it's just about them having the same opportunity, and then have a peer group to do the sports with.
And it's amazing to watch those sports. And I talk to Peter Boucher at the high school about it all the time, and he talks about the atmosphere at those games, the fans that come out, the excitement that's there in the gym, on the field when those are taking place. It's a special atmosphere, and everyone's getting a ton out of it. The athletes with disabilities, the athletes without disabilities who are working side by side, everyone's getting a ton out of these events.
And it opens up opportunities for our athletes too, because once people see what they can do, we have an athlete that's on the high school swim team, we have an athlete that's on the high school cheerleading team, we have an athlete that's on the high school golf team. It's like it opens up all these opportunities. So not only do we have the unified sports, but there's other opportunities for our athletes too.
It's so wonderful, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but the students at the high school who help out, whether they're mentoring with Best Buddies, whether they're working with the unified sports, to watch them during these events, the involvement that they have, the enthusiasm, the connections that they have with the kids that they're working with, that's pretty special, and it's something that it seems like that's continued to grow, and more kids seem to be getting involved in it at the high school.
And they're making true friendships. True friendships, which is great, and that's what Best Buddies has helped to promote too. Also, along with Special Olympics, is the true friendships that are formed inside and outside of school.
It's really special, and you're going to have an opportunity to have a bit of a pep rally, a ceremony at the school coming up to officially raise the Unified Champions banner.
Right, on Friday, October 26th, the school's having a pep rally, and we're going to be part of that to honor our unified programs.
That's so exciting. We definitely hope
we're excited.
We hope to have some coverage there as well.
That'd be
We'd love to capture that moment. Well, it's really exciting, and when you receive, I know obviously you're not in it for recognition. No. You love what you do, but it must be nice. It must be a little bit gratifying to you to get this kind of recognition.
I was really excited for the high school because the students and the teachers and the staff do so much to help make these programs successful that I was like, yes. I was happy when high school got the recognition.
And we have to talk a little bit too. Tim Walsh, of course, your son, who's very much involved as well, was part of a contingent of Special Olympics athletes that went out to Seattle this past summer, and that was just another great experience for the athletes here to take part in, and they did very well on top of it.
And that's why I'm so passionate about Special Olympics and unified sports, because it opens up opportunities for our students and athletes that they otherwise wouldn't get to go on a plane and travel. I had 3 athletes that had never done that before. To leave Milford, I had one that had never even left Milford. So, and to be able to do that and do it successfully and then come home with gold medals was like, it was an amazing event.
That's really great. Well, we continue to just have so much respect for you for the work that you do, and we wish you continued success, and we look forward to continuing to see the programs grow over the years, and in the meantime, national recognition for Milford High School for the Special Olympics program. It's well deserved, and Jen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tim.
Next up, we have another installment of Dr. McIntyre's Superintendent Update series. In the October edition, Dr. McIntyre discusses news related to Milford's MCAS scores.
Hello Hawk Nation, welcome to the October Superintendent Video Update. I want to share information on the 2018 MCAS results and accountability data, the Woodland Elementary hosting the story of a building, and a few key Milford statistics. Individual MCAS results will arrive in the mail prior to the end of October. District and school level results are available on the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's website. This year the state has shifted how they calculate and present accountability data. No longer are schools placed into levels, but are placed in broader categories. The Milford Public Schools are in the same category as most of the districts in Massachusetts, which is titled Not Needing Assistance or Intervention. We demonstrated improvement in English Language Arts achievement in grades 3 through 8, and a second year of very strong achievement in Milford High School. In mathematics achievement, we saw a slight decline at the 3 through 8 grade level and a slightly larger decline at Milford High School. Science achievement saw an increase at Milford High School and a decline at grades 5 and 8. ELA growth was strong at both grades 3 through 8 and very strong at Milford High School. Math growth was solid at grades 3 through 8 and was lower than we hoped at Milford High School. Our 4-year graduation rate increased overall, and correspondingly our dropout rate overall decreased. Advanced coursework completion increased for all subgroups at Milford High School, which is also a promising development. We look to continue to support the learning and growth of all of our students, and we will continue to use MCAS results and state accountability data as some of the metrics that drive our focus on continuous improvement and growth. We will be hosting the Story of a Building Woodland Elementary School in collaboration with the Massachusetts School Building Authority on October 29th. This is a fantastic opportunity for Milford to highlight the new Woodland Elementary School. The program is designed for school district personnel, school committees, architects, and builders to provide key information about the building process and the planning phase to post-construction. Members of the Milford Public School Administration, the Woodland Building Committee, and the state will be sharing information about the planning process, building experience, and every other aspect of the school building process. We are excited to share our experiences and show off the state-of-the-art Woodland Elementary School. Before I close, I want to share 4 Milford Public Schools statistics with you. First, approximately 700 students participate in the instrumental music and chorus programs in grades 3 through 12. Over the last 3 years, 75 Milford High School graduates are college athletes at the Division 1, 2, and 3 levels. This is approximately 3 times the national average. We're also very proud of our diverse community, where our students speak more than 20 different languages. It is an honor and a privilege to serve as the superintendent of the Milford Public Schools. Thank you, Hawk Nation.
The bad news for the Scarlet Hawks football team, they entered into Week 5 winless on the season. The good news, the offense posted 21 points in the second half of their loss to North Attleboro in Week 5, giving the team a sense they may have turned a corner. Could those positive results translate into a desperately needed win on homecoming night against Sharon? Let's check out the highlights.
Milford entered into Week 5 facing a stark reality. One more loss would likely put an end to the team's hopes of making it into the postseason. The Hawks hoped they could channel the energy of their homecoming crowd, as well as the alumni from the 1983 Super Bowl championship team, as they took the field against the Sharon Eagles. Once again, we'd see Milford's opponent defer the opening coin toss. Could the Scarlet Hawks offense finally cash in on the game's opening possession?
And kick is up, and we are underway here as this one is taken about the 16-yard line. Cut to the left here, big hole. It almost escaping, but taken down just across midfield. Great return there. Sean Lehane, important third down here. Perez takes the snap, rolls right, evades oncoming rusher. It hits his man, he's got a first down on the far sideline. Perez in the I formation has a man behind him, hands off. Right up the gut, cutting in. It's close, and just short. Pearl is going to line up under center. Pearl trying to force his way through with a patented Tom Brady sneak. They're signaling they got it, and they did. Touchdown for the Hawks, 6-0.
That touchdown would give Milford their first lead of the season. It would remain 7-0 midway through the second quarter, when Eagles QB Jeremy Ruskin looked to have a receiver wide open on what would have been a sure touchdown grab, but Chris Gong lets the ball slip through his fingers and the pass would fall incomplete. Gong would not have to wait long for a chance at redemption, however, as Sharon would run the exact same play a second time, and this time Gong would secure the grab and he would take it into the end zone, as Sharon would end up tying the game at 7. It was still a tied score with 3.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, but it was at that exact moment when Milford decided to let out 4 weeks' worth of offensive frustration on the Eagles.
Perez takes the snap, looks to his left, has a man going for the corner of the end zone. He's got it! Sean Lehane with a great catch in the corner, getting free of his defender and giving Milford the 6-point advantage once again. Perez takes the snap, looking to his left, looking right, now going right over the top. He has a man, he's got him! 10-5, touchdown, Milford! Lehane again getting wide open, getting separation, and taking it to the house. He's having a huge game tonight. Score now 20-7 in the blink of an eye. And the punt is low, takes a bounce and fielded at about the 40 by Feaster. Feaster cuts left. Now trying to head up the middle, going back right. He's still on his feet. Feaster looking for space, stiff arm before he's finally taking down at about the 30-yard line. Oh, he's still going. Hard to see beyond that crowd. From the shotgun, Pires takes it. Looking for his options right. He's throwing. He has a man. It's White. Touchdown, Milford. Brendan White left all alone. Easy catch. And Milford tags another touchdown on the board. They're putting themselves in a good position to potentially get their first win of the season tonight.
2 touchdown grabs for Lehane and the first TD grab of the season for senior captain Brendan White, all in the final 3.5 minutes of the first half to give the Hawks a commanding 28-7 lead. After a quiet start to the third quarter, eventually the Hawks would tack on to that lead.
Those guys have really been eating up the Eagles defense tonight. Pires fakes the handoff, throws deep, has his man. Touchdown, Milford. Hugo Lopes coming up with that one and extending the lead. Now 34-7, and Milford is running away with this one.
In the waning moments of the fourth quarter, Milford would collect one final score courtesy of a Luke Rosa rushing touchdown to cap off a memorable offensive night for the Hawks. They finally get in the win column as they blow out the Sharon Eagles by a final score of 42-7.
With that win, Milford keeps their hopes alive for making it into the playoffs. The team will be on the road for the next 2 weeks against Foxborough and Stoughton and will likely need to win both games to qualify for the postseason. We will share all of the latest news on the football team here on The Informer next week. Now for a quick update on the Scarlet Hawks boys soccer team. It was another outstanding week for the boys as they earned back-to-back shutout victories. They defeated non-conference BVT 3-0 back on Columbus Day, and they followed that up with a 6-0 shutout against Attleboro on Wednesday. Wallison de Oliveira notched his third hat trick of the season and had 4 goals in total for the week. De Oliveira now has 15 goals overall on the year. Milford's defense and goaltending has also been outstanding. Josh Orellana leads the league with a .37 goals allowed average, and Milford as a team has allowed just 6 goals through 11 matches, which is the fewest goals allowed in the entire Hockomock League. The Hawks now have sole possession of first place in the Davenport and will look to keep things rolling next week with 3 tough road battles against Foxborough, North Attleboro, and Sharon. We hope to check in with Coach Edwards and the players as the week goes on, and we'll have a more in-depth update on the team on the show next week. Meanwhile, the Milford girls volleyball team is coming off a week that saw consecutive games on their home floor. We were fortunate to be in the gym for both contests, so let's take you back to last Friday night where the Lady Hawks met up with their fiercest rival, the Canton Lady Bulldogs.
It was a rivalry night Friday night in the Milford gym last week as the Lady Scarlet Hawks welcomed in their arch nemesis, the Canton Lady Bulldogs. Milford was able to end a near decade-long losing streak to Canton last season. Could they make it back-to-back wins against their biggest league rival? After Milford opened the first set with a 2-1 lead, Canton libero Megan McDonough would lead her team to 7 straight points on her serve to give her team a comfortable lead. Milford would try to hang tough in the set. Here off the serve of Sydney Sutton, Milford is able to come through with 3 straight points to cut the deficit to 4, but that would be as close as they would get in the first set. McDonough would return to the service line to close it out as Canton would take the opener 25-15. Milford would keep pace with Canton much better through the early points of the second set. With the score tied at 7, Nina Pinto would come through with the kill to give Milford a lead. Moments later, Pinto's serve would take a deflection off the back row and out to again place Milford on top. Nina Pinto would continue to be a major factor throughout the set. Here, her blast off the hands of Canton's Olivia Chinson would give the Hawks their largest lead of the set and place them just 3 points away from evening the match. Moments later, it would only be fitting that Nina Pinto would come through with an ace that would even up the match at 1 set apiece. The Lady Hawks would carry over momentum into the start of the third set. Milford would claim 7 of the first 8 points to seize control early. But as the set went along, Canton would start to show why they are the top team in the Davenport. First, Chinson would keep the play alive with a diving save, and then Nicole Brown would send a flick shot over that would result in a hit out of bounds by Milford that would even the set up at 11-all. From there, the set would stay extremely close, leading into what would be the most pivotal play of the match. With Milford down 23-22, watch here as Reardon sets up Alyssa Williamson. Williamson's return shot looks to travel outside the antenna, but no call is made at the net. Canton initially plays the shot but then stops, and only then do the officials stop play, giving no indication of where the point will be awarded. After a lengthy conversation, the officials decide to award the point to Canton, which led to outrage amongst the Milford players and coaching staff. Milford would manage to fight off one set point, but eventually the Bulldogs would take the set in controversial fashion by a margin of 25-23. The Lady Hawks would be unable to overcome the frustration of that controversial call, and the Canton Bulldogs would end up with a comfortable 25-16 win in the fourth set. It was another classic Milford versus Canton battle, with the Lady Bulldogs emerging with the win by a final of 3-1. Milford would be back in action at home on Monday. The girls hoped to avoid their fourth straight loss as they hosted the 1-10 Attleboro Lady Bombardiers. Despite coming in with just a single victory on the season, Attleboro would give Milford a tough battle all night long. It would be just a 2-point lead for Milford midway into the set when senior Anna Alvarenga would take over on serve. The serve specialist would quickly settle Milford into a groove, delivering back-to-back aces to increase the Lady Hawks' lead. Later in the set, watch as Julia Reardon makes a diving play to deliver the ball back over. Nina Pinto would then finish things off at the net to place Milford just 5 points away from a quick set win. Attleboro would try to make things close late in the set. Here, despite a nice effort up at the net, Nina Pinto's return shot would be long to cut it to a 23-16 score, but Milford would eventually close things out in the first set, winning 25-15. Milford would hold a slim lead midway through set number 2, but Attleboro's Anna Leonardo would put her team on a mini run with 3 consecutive points to take the lead and force Coach Tammy Weber to call a timeout. After the Lady Bombardiers tied the set again, junior captain Alyssa Williamson would provide another solid service game, giving Milford 5 straight points, leading to a 20-14 second set advantage. Just as they did in the first set, Attleboro would start to find their momentum late. This time they'd managed to cut it all the way down to a 2-point margin thanks to this block from senior captain Amanda Katasevskis. A few plays later, we'd see an exciting exchange as Milford was presented with a set point opportunity.
Softly pushed over by Attleboro. Now Corsini, that gets deflected. Maeda able to return. Now Sutton. That one drifts over. Corsini pops it high up in the air, and now Reardon is able to flick it onto a vacated spot on the floor to give Milford the set victory, 25-20.
Fast forward to late in the third set. Alyssa Williamson would produce her third ace of the match to give Milford a 19-15 lead. But from there, Attleboro would respond in a big way, erasing the deficit before taking a 20-19 lead off this deflection from the Milford front row. It would be an entertaining race to the finish line from there.
Line drive serve, immediately returned. Reardon to Alvarenga, who could not get good position. And so now, that was a pivotal point. Both teams 2 points away from the set win, and now Attleboro on serve for a set point. And that one softly sent over. Nice dig for Sydney Sutton. Now lofted over, Maeda gets there. Here's Corsini, played on the back row. It takes a hop off the basketball net, and Milford lucky there. That one was close to going out. So now tied at 24. Here's Pinto on serve. And she's able to get the ace. The senior captain can deliver the match right here. Now to the back row, and this is going to deflect hard off into the crowd, and that is that. So Milford with a huge scare here in this third set, but they survive. They take it 26-24. And for the first time all season, Milford is able to earn a 3-set sweep. They really had to work for it in the end, but they defeat Attleboro 3-0.
After that win against Attleboro, Milford made it 2 victories in a row, thanks to a gutty performance on the road against Sharon on Thursday. The girls dropped the first 2 sets in the match, but then came roaring back to win the final 3 to claim a hard-fought W. Milford is now 7-5 overall, just 3 wins away from guaranteeing themselves a playoff spot. And remember, you can check out all of our Milford TV sports coverage over on the Educational channel or on our YouTube channel. And now let's get to this week's upcoming events.
Here's one last reminder that coming up this Saturday, the Milford High School Hospitality and Tourism Management Program will be hosting their 4th annual Stacy Middle School Color Run. The event is fully organized by the MHS HTM students, and all proceeds will benefit activities at Stacy Middle School. Registration for the event can be done online or on the day of the event. Again, the Color Run is taking place at Stacy Middle School this Saturday, October 13th, with registration beginning at 8 a.m., the Kids Fun Run beginning at 9 a.m., and the Color Run itself kicking off at 9:30 a.m. On Monday, the town of Milford will be holding its fall special town meeting. A total of 36 articles will be up for approval by town meeting members at Monday's meeting. As always, town meeting will be held inside Upper Town Hall. Again, special town meeting will take place on Monday, October 15th, beginning at 7 p.m. If you cannot make it to Town Hall, there will be live coverage of the town meeting here on Milford TV and streaming live on milfordtv.net and on the Livestream app. And coming up on October 27th, Creative Community Childcare at the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Milford proudly presents the 10th annual Trick or Treat down Main Street. Families are encouraged to gather at Creative Community Childcare starting at 10 a.m. for a host of fun activities. There will be face painting, crafts and games, as well as a haunted house and surprise characters. There will also be tour guides leaving Creative Community Childcare every 15 to 20 minutes to guide trick-or-treaters. The Trick or Treat down Main Street is being held on Saturday, October 27th, starting at Creative Community Childcare located at 23 Pine Street from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Next week on the show, we will have a Milford TV member report from this weekend's Stacy Middle School Color Run. We'll also bring you a recap of Monday's town meeting. Once again, we say best of luck to the Red Sox as they look to take down the reigning World Series champs in the American League Championship Series. From all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.